So the blue stripes on the outside of the coach are a BMW color called frozen blue metallic. So the engine is done in frozen blue metallic with all polished stainless steel hardware, polished steel plumbing.
This is real tile, and it's completely flat. How do you do that?
That was technology that we invented and patented in 1996. These sections where the slides, this is the footprint of the slide. This will lower 4 inches into the chassis and store, and then the slide closes over the top and seals against the centerpiece.
That makes total sense. We have something very special for you today. Welcome to another episode of Dave and Kathy Unplugged. This is going to be something unreal. My son Kyle joins us here with a Newell Coach. This is the highest end of the highest end that you can get. Think Rolls Royce and take it up like 10 notches from there. I need some help with this one. So Kyle, you're gonna help me on this. We're gonna do a quick outside tour of this Newell Coach. These things are like $3 million and potentially up. I mean, you know, just incredibly expensive, but more importantly, these are custom built and they're just in a league of their own. So let's do an outside tour, an inside tour, and maybe even have a special guest come and tell us even more about this Newell Coach. Let's get into it. So Kyle, this is my first Newell experience. Now, I didn't even realize something like this would be here, so it's exciting. I'm excited to see that it's here.
And where is here? We're at the Florida RV show.
We're at the Florida RV show, I know, but I didn't realize we were gonna be able to see this vehicle today. So tell me about this unit, Kyle.
Well, I first want to say a huge shout out to my friend Andrew Steele. He's also a content creator. I make a lot of videos on YouTube on the car side, and my buddy Andrew makes a lot of videos on the very high-end motor coach industry. And he and I have been trying to do a collaboration for a long time together, but I feel like Andrew today because I'm getting to present a Newell Coach, and I've been a long-time viewer of his channel, and it's actually my first day getting to see and experience a Newell, and that is an experience that everyone should be able to have and everyone should be able to appreciate. It's certainly an amazing piece of machinery, and I've learned about it over the years of watching Andrew's channel. We also have Brian Pitts here, a representative from Newell who's been with them forever. Awesome dude, and you're actually going to be able to join him for a quick interview, Dad, which will be really cool.
Excellent, excellent. Well, listen, let's go around the outside of this unit. First of all, tell me about these are made where, Kyle?
Yeah, so these are made in Miami, Oklahoma, and completely hand-built. They can't build that many of them. Each one is specifically commissioned for the customer. It's a multi-week, multi-month-long commissioning process, and they've been doing coaches since 1960-something. Brian will know, but a really long time. And each coach is, at least in this P50 generation, completely bespoke. So the entire chassis is built in-house. Everything, down to literally the stick and frame of the vehicle, is done by Newell. Now, most of the RVs, if you pan around out here, they all come from suppliers. So you have Spartan chassis, you have Mercedes Sprinters, and those level of quality can differ, but you can only do so much when you're dealing with a production grade platform. Newell builds everything in-house from the ground up for your specific spec. So for example, on this one, you'll notice there's no door here. Some Newells have a door here. Some Newells have a mid-entry situation, and this is a mid-entry Newell. This is a P50 generation, and it is, again, the Tampa show coach. It's absolutely amazing. They've done some really cool things with this as well. From a technical side, they're running a super tuned up version of the Cummins X15 in this particular one. We'll talk about that later on. ZF active rear steer. It's one of the only coaches, if not the only coach, with an active rear steer. We talked to the Spartan chassis guy earlier, right? That is very nice to have a passive rear steering system. So when you turn all the way, you have to go long, and then it starts to tighten up because it has to wait for the rear end to drag around. When you turn the front wheels in this coach, the rear wheels do like Cybertruck, and they go the other way.
I see.
Yep, it's a very, very cool system. Unbelievable tight turning radius. And again, all completely done in-house. They did their own traction control tuning, their own ESP tuning. Insane. The design of the coach, so front cap, rear cap, is Porsche design. Now, it's not like It is technically the same company-ish as Porsche cars, but keep in mind they have their own design group, and you'll see Porsche design accessories from everywhere. They did the P50 generation, and this particular show coach was painted by Ryan Laux, who's a son of a famous painter. Ryan's becoming a famous painter as well. I at least have heard of him and know his stuff. And they did sort of an American themed wrap for this one, ghosted into the paint. Takes weeks and weeks to paint something like this, Dad.
Wow.
It's so much time. One of the benefits of Newell's, you can tow 30,000 pounds, I don't know, 20,000 pounds, some insane number. And we've got a double stacker right here that goes along the road.
These have to be popular with NASCAR guys.
Yeah, so when you go to a NASCAR race, you'll see a lot of Newells because they're kind of
You'll see a lot of Newells with the winning drivers.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. I mean, these are some of the fastest coaches out there, which is really cool.
Right.
And so that's a real benefit, of course, if you're trying to rip from place to place.
Sure.
There's so much to talk about around the coach in terms of the bay doors, the storage, how everything works. I think we should head around to the other side. I can show you some things as well. All of the slides are completely configurable for the specification. This one's probably a quad slide. If I had to guess, the answer is yes, it is a quad slide Newell Coach, and it's just beautiful.
You know what's amazing, Kyle, and I know I'm probably, is when you look at any of the fifth wheel, the way that the slides come out, all you see are like, you know, rack and pinion, or you see the slim rack systems, or, you know, but here it's just solid.
And when you look inside on the floors, you'll notice
completely flat.
And you know, the stuff that I like to talk about fit and finish around the whole coach, going to be perfect on everything. Completely dialed in around the whole coach. Now, the bay doors that they have on these things, really cool as well. You just click this button right here, and maybe it is locked, but they are all sort of electronically popping up and then pop back down. Not sure why they're not opening up, but they know to open up below the slide outs, which is really cool.
Oh yeah, I was going to say maybe they would hit the slide outs.
No, they're all designed to do.
See this lighting under here as well. This is really incredible. That
you can do some really cool things with these as well. You can get projection screens on the outside. You can get grills and tables that pop out, and yeah, Brian will be able to show some of that stuff as well. But I think the biggest thing with a Newell, of course, the outside, the design, it's all really cool. And of course, just whenever you see a Newell Coach going down the road, I saw one the other day, you got to snap a picture. You just got to be like, oh my gosh, so cool. But when you pop inside, it's all of that quality. It's completely done in-house, everything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's not like they're buying off the shelf, this, that, or the other, all the finishings and everything. So this coach specifically designed for this show, already sold, 1 year plus wait list to get another one. They do have used ones that you can purchase sooner, of course.
Right.
But Dad, I mean, did you know much about Newell before?
No. I really, to be honest,
I know I've sent you some links to Andrew's channel.
I've seen some of his things, but in this high-end Class A, only because I've been so much wrapped into a purchase decision and getting involved with a fifth wheel at a much, I mean, you can't even compare.
Yeah, the cost of your fifth wheel is like the paint job.
Yeah, I mean, my head it hasn't been around this. But when I think about high-end fifth or high-end Class A's, I think Prevost. Right, and those buses, and then all the manufacturers that retrofit those. But this is a whole nother league, right?
They're playing to the same customer base though, because if you look at Emerald Coach or Marathon Coach or Liberty or one of these other coaches, you're in that same 2.5 to 3.5, maybe 4 million if you're really going crazy price range.
Right.
You know, so you're in there.
Yeah.
Pros and cons to both. So when you go with a Prevost bus, it's a production grade coach, which means they're built on a production line in Canada. It's got that Volvo backing, so that a lot of the things on that coach are well engineered. But again, it's primarily designed to be a bus, which is on one hand great because you know it'll last a couple million miles on the road, right? But on the other hand, the floors are so much higher in those because you need all that space for packing in people's luggage.
Yeah, well, we were just in this thing before. I'm 6'5", and I did not have that Class A sort of feeling of confined. Like
I don't know. Class A's always have headroom issues.
When you go in that Axiom we were just in with the 9'6" ceiling.
Yes. That
fifth wheel, like I love that. It's not quite as high, but understanding you're sitting your feet are, how high up are your feet in here? This is like at my shoulder height.
Yes, yeah, you're right here.
Yeah, you're right there. That's amazing.
Yeah. So that's one of the benefits of Newell creating their own entire platform for these vehicles.
Right.
They also have the active rear steer. They can basically build in.
So the frames are all built by them. They're not buying a frame from someone. This is all custom.
Completely.
Wow.
It's like mega crazy.
That
mega
is
crazy.
That is insane.
And the other coaches are mega crazy too. No shade to any of the brands that I mentioned or anyone doing the Prevost upfits. That's a great platform. There's just another level in this game, which is literally building the entire product,
right?
And not just upfitting an existing bus. Still a great product for the right person.
Right.
This is what I have interest in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let me just show you inside really quick, because again, you have that mid-entry, which brings you right up into the kitchen space, which I really love. And on the way in, you should just take a look as well. Just the lighting underneath. It's insane, the quality. Again, it's my first time getting to see a Newell here at the show.
There are mirrors literally behind your feet.
Okay. Really? Yeah.
Which makes it, when you're walking in, you see yourself walking in a little bit. That's incredible.
That's really cool. And just walking in here for the first time, if you pan to the right, absolutely amazing. Brian's over here. Thanks for joining. We'll get you on camera here in a second. Scott's having a chill out at the table.
She's having second, third, and fourth thoughts about her favorite rig at the show, and this is it all times.
Oh, it's got to be.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
So really cool. Let me just run you to the back here, Dad,
Okay.
and then we'll switch. But you have, your powder room, which is just insanely well outfitted. We talked about the slides sitting completely flush as well. Look at the floor. Look at the tolerances, how everything lines up insanely perfectly. That's what I like.
Amazing. And these are two slides back in here.
Right, so it's a quad slide coach.
Quad slide
so you
coach.
have two up front, two in the rear. King size bed. You've got the backlit countertops. I love what they did with the design in this bathroom. You've got stacker washer dryer, closet in the back, cedar closet, and then look at the river rock here.
Oh, I love that.
That is really cool.
That is beautiful. And look at the depth of the counter, Kyle, and how it's backlit like that.
It's really amazing.
And you know one thing I love? I think oval toilets. And there they got it.
It's a proper.
I guess you could get whatever toilet you want. It's like
proper toilet.
Proper
Absolutely.
toilet, yeah.
So let me hook you up with Brian. I'd love for your viewers to get to meet him and get to know him. He's been on YouTube a bunch on Andrew's channel, and
that's great.
It's just cool to be.
This is. I love how excited you are.
Even the lighting, the way they duct their HVAC, you don't see any vents, you don't feel anything like that. It's just so crazy.
Can we just? I'm going to ask Brian. I want to go see like how where you drive it and everything.
Oh, he'll show you. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh,
absolutely.
let's go. All right, Brian Pitts, Dave Connor. Very nice to meet you. Thank you so much for taking me through this. The first thing, Kyle just took me on a little bit of a tour on the outside and was explaining to me sort of where this rig sits in the overall scheme of all the different vehicles and. Towables, forget those, but the Class A's that we've seen here today. I thought we would start just where you drive this vehicle and tell me a little bit about this right here. These seats up here, first of all, look amazing, but take me through this, Brian.
So all of it's custom. Obviously, we build the entire coach from scratch to customer specs. The most common setup is to have more of a furniture-style co-pilot seat. In other words, it's got the heat and the cool and the massage like you would expect, but it's also a recliner. So it rotates to face the passenger area and a recliner. This one on this side, though, is a professional driver's seat. It's made by a company called Needler. We supply the leather and the upholstery for it, and it's an air ride seat. All the adjustments with the lumbar support and all of that to keep you comfortable during long trips. This is not set in stone. This is just what we ordered for this coach. Sometimes the people will want air ride on both sides or don't want the air ride at all. All of that's custom. This is the most common setup. And then a little driver's console. I'll move it out of the way here so we can see what we're doing. So from the pilot seat here, oops, hang on, I actually needed this. From the pilot seat here, you can literally control the entire coach. These are the house functions that allow you to select air conditioning and sorry, this is the chassis heat and air page that I'm on here. The house functions allow you to control literally every part of the coach.
That is so cool.
Heating and air conditioning, lights, all of it. The idea is to put this on a giant touch screen so that when you're driving down the road, you don't have to spend too much time to hit the button precisely. We put these big old giant buttons on it. You can just
Right.
you can hit them at 70 miles an hour. I'm 80 feet long pulling that stacker trailer. I don't have a lot of time to play around with the electronics. But we also did, which I really like, we did a joystick device over here that allows you to switch between several different pages while you're driving.
Oh, I see.
Considering
Super cool.
camera's nice.
Yeah, that's
So, speaking of cameras, this is the coach is surrounded with them. There's 360 camera systems that literally look all around the coach at once. We have on the roof of the coach. So if you're pulling up to say a tree that you think, oh, this is a little sketchy, I don't know if it's going to fit. You've got a forward-facing and a rear-facing camera that will let you know exactly whether or not it will fit.
right.
And all of these channels are recorded on a DVR, so you can go back and look, and you know, if something does happen, you can go back and look and see what happened. So a lot of thought went into this. Actually, when we were building the dash itself, we mocked it up out of plywood and practiced with different angles in the sunlight so that we got the maximum amount of protection and you could see it during everything.
So this dashboard, the way it's laid out here, this was designed by a customer. They wanted it this specific way, or is this how
No.
the Newells are set up this way?
Yes.
Okay, so this
built the
layout
dash.
is, I see.
The colors, you know, what the background is.
I see.
This right here, the leather, all of that stuff is custom.
Right.
And then obviously you can customize the layouts of the stuff too. But no, this is a standard setup.
I noticed the button in the top right, leveling. How does the auto leveling system work?
So it does a lot more than just that part. To see all of the stuff it does, the coach really needs to be running. But when you press auto level, it does just what you think. It deflates, it inflates the bags on the corners to get everything level. And you can also press lower, and it will hold the coach in level to the lowest point that it can go and remain level. But while you're driving, so in travel mode over here, you've also still got these buttons. You can press raise if you're looking at a railroad track and thinking I might drag a little on that. It'll pick the coach up 4 inches. Or you can hit lower if you're concerned about clearing something, and it'll drop the coach 4 inches, and you can still drive very slow. You know, I think 15 miles per hour is where it cuts out. You also have manual, so you know you can tilt the coach over and drain water off of the slides and that sort of thing. On the travel mode, in addition to the other controls that you see here, there will be a button right here that says Smart Ride, and I never turn that off. There's no real reason to. I like Smart Ride because when you get to 50 miles per hour, it lets pressure out of the bags. The coach will drop about 2 inches, and it allows it to ride a lot smoother. You don't have as much air pressure in the bags, and you know, as soon as you drop below that, it comes back up to the normal height.
Got it.
And then also along those lines, the coach is in comfort mode right now. That's the suspension. That's the valving and the shocks. We have computer damped shocks. They measure compressions and rebounds 100 times a second and adjust themselves for that. And there's
Is that an oil-based system or air?
oil.
Oil. Okay.
Yep. And so there's 6 stations, 1 on each of the fronts, 1 on each of the tags, and 1 on each of the drives, and a 7th in the steering column, which makes it predictive. So when you start a turn, it knows the coach is going to load on this side, so it will tighten the damping on that side so that it reduces the body roll. We could never on a coach this size transfer air quickly enough to make that happen.
Makes sense.
It required the CDC shocks.
Right.
There's 2 modes for this. This is comfort mode, which allows for a little more body roll, but it rides cushier. But then you can put it in sport mode and virtually no body roll, but you feel the road more. So, like when I'm driving from Oklahoma out to here, I'm usually in comfort mode until I get to the middle of Tennessee where everything gets really curvy, and then I put it sport mode, unless the wind's really roaring. In which case, I like to run it in sport mode and with the steering assist turned all the way up. That's the maximum amount of input I can get from this servo assist steering to help me fight crosswinds.
Is there any kind of GPS navigation overlay where you'll know if you're coming into a let's say a twisty road that the suspension would automatically firm up?
Not yet.
And
It wouldn't surprise me if that's not coming soon.
And then I'm curious also just about like forward cameras. You've got cameras all over the place.
Right.
But like if you start seeing something in railroad tracks or something up front that is going to be, I would imagine the time which it's going to take to firm up a dynamic suspension like that on such a big rig like this might take too much time to actually firm it up.
No,
but there's no active idea of
a second.
a hundredth of a second.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
all
a
right.
hundredth of a second.
Wow.
It's almost instant. The GPS does warn you if there's sharp curves or railroad crossings or that sort of thing
Right.
coming along. But it's still up to you at this point to react
right.
to that.
Understood. Yeah. So I had one question also as far as advanced driver assistance, lane centering, and all of that. Tell me about the capabilities.
We basically only have the most rudimentary of that stuff right now. We have a lane departure warning and an adaptive cruise control. I didn't order either of those items on this coach because I hate them. They're in your business. In a car, I can kind of stomach it because it doesn't change your life that much. But in a coach, where it takes a little longer to get to and maintain speed, a car passes you, pulls in front, the coach drops back, another car passes you, and drops
right.
back.
Everybody's sneaking in, and that just, yeah.
And then as far as the lane departure goes, the coach is 8.5 foot wide, and if you're lucky, you've got a 12-foot wide lane. And so like a day today where the wind's blowing a little bit, it's beeping constantly. Oh, you're deviating from your path. You're deviating from your path.
Right.
And after I had that 2 years ago on my show coach, and the wires mysteriously got snipped shortly after I started driving. It was horrible.
Wonder how that happened.
Yeah, but to get the full suite of stuff, which obviously we're going to do, that way we can offer it, and that's the first step to self-driving.
Yes.
We have to give the federal government a brand new coach that they are going to take the compartment doors off of and weld outriggers onto it.
Oh no.
And do rollover testing.
Oh,
That's
my
the only
goodness.
way we can get the certification. We only build 26 coaches a year, and we're sold out a year and a half to 2 years in advance at all times. That's a devastating ask.
Yeah.
If we could give them a used one, that would have been done already. But taking 1/26th of our production and basically ruining it, because I don't know what we would ever do with it after that was done. It's just been too big of an ask. But we'll get there eventually, because obviously whenever NVIDIA or whoever releases their drop-in self-driving system, we need to be ready for it.
Right.
So that's coming, but as of right now, it just doesn't. It's not ideal.
One last question up front.
Yeah.
As far as the video screen that's here and these backup cameras and
Yes.
all, a lot of the Class A's that I've seen, they have these massive windows.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a choice that you have when you're building a custom coach, or does Newell have this blocked, as if you will, with all this technology up here?
It was kind of a choice when Porsche Design. We work with Porsche Design to build the bodies.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we communicated with them, we had always had two-piece windshields with a seam right here in the center. Those are nice because when you break one, it takes 30 minutes, and back then it was $500 to change them. I think it's $700 now. Whereas this is $3,000, and it takes 4 guys 24 hours.
Right.
But we mostly wanted to make sure that this was not a proprietary windshield. We wanted to make sure it was something that they keep at the glass houses around the country, so that we can We can say, hey, there's one 125 miles away
That
from
makes
you,
sense,
and
right.
we'll get you in and change it out. So that was the primary consideration here.
Right.
We wanted a windshield that we could replace anywhere you were when it broke.
That makes sense. Serviceability is going to drive the design and
Huge.
practicality as well.
Huge.
Come back if you wouldn't mind. Let's take a look at I'm walking through here and I look at just these tiles. How do you have this floor so flat
So
with a slide? I mean, like there, like in all the fifth wheels that I've been looking at, they used to have the toe stubbers, right? Okay, we've gone past that, but there is still a little lip. This is real tile, and it's completely flat. How do you do that?
That was technology that we invented and patented in 1996. These sections where the slides, this is the footprint of the slide. This will lower 4 inches into the chassis and store, and then the slide closes over the top and seals against the centerpiece.
That makes total sense.
So their floors are always flush, in or out.
Wow.
The other thing we do is we make sure all the furniture is floating,
Right.
so nothing touches the floor as it's coming in and out. So if there's grit or something like that,
Right.
you're not going to scratch.
Yeah, that's one of the more expensive items I had to buy before my fifth wheel was a Dyson vacuum cleaner, and because if you leave one little pebble,
It's going to run.
it's going to scratch the floor.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
Really
These
smart.
are suspended on their slides. These are called bearing covers. There's one on each end of every slide. So the slides are hung on their side like a high-end drawer in a home would be.
Right.
And as the floor moves out of the way, the slide comes in. There's no resistance. I mean, it's little electric motors this big around. You can push it in with your thumb.
Right.
It's just a really,
One of the
really
things Kyle and I were talking about is just the underbelly of the slides.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing the rack and pinion or the slim rack or whatever. I was like, it's just flat. There's nothing there, and the seams are all. Question
We
for you.
call them a cartridge style slide
Cartridge
because
style.
they're completely enclosed.
Yeah.
All the mechanisms and everything are in the coach.
Right.
So there's nothing out there in the weather to get rusted or anything
Yeah.
like that.
When someone specs a Newell Coach, tell me about, do you have a place where they go to pick out the different fabrics, or how because I'm thinking about these fabrics that are in here, super high end, and the color schemes and all of that. What's the process someone goes through when they decide that they want to order one of these?
It's lengthy.
Yeah.
But we have developed, because we never duplicate two coaches. So nobody can say, I like that one, build me one just like it. We've developed some processes that take the overwhelming part of that out. One of the things that's really nice is with website availability to all the luxury goods in the entire world, Pinterest, House, Yachts International, that sort of thing. You can do a lot of research from your computer, and every time you find something you like, you screenshot it.
Right.
And we set up a shared folder. And you just start uploading things that caught your eye to that shared folder. So when it is time for your spec, about 2 weeks before your actual spec meeting, engineering and decor will have a conference call to make sure we're all on the same page. And then when you come in, they've got interior options already laid out. We have a massive design center with samples of everything you can imagine from all over the world.
Wow.
Flooring, floor tile, leathers, fabrics, countertop material. If it exists, we've got it.
Well, I'll tell you, we're in the process of redoing our condo, and my wife just took me to the tile store. I was like overwhelmed with how many choices there are. I can't even imagine when you're trying to spec this out. These are tell me about that. Is this real? It looks like marble. Is that what that is?
No, we use virtually no real stone anymore.
Okay.
The porcelains and ceramics have gotten to the point now where they don't break, they don't stain, they don't scratch. There's just, and you can make them look like anything you want, and they're far lighter.
Right.
You know, I can carry 3 boxes of this, whereas 1 box of the other would have been all I could carry.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
So we really don't do much in the way of natural stone. We will do hardwoods. So some people ask for hardwoods. They don't work great with floor heat, but we can do hardwoods. But for the most part, it's a porcelain
Got
tile.
it. Understood. All right, so we are in a super high-end bedroom here. First thing that catches my eye is the backlighting on the countertops. I imagine that's is that something you typically go with on each one of the Newells, or is that's a design choice?
It's totally a design choice.
Design choice. Well, I think the new owner
love-
of this, they made the right decision, because that is spectacular.
We love the backlit countertops. We have a single button that turns off all of the main lights and turns on all of the accent lights.
Right.
So that happens right about the time you start shaking the first martini. And I mean, the glow after dark is insane.
Yeah.
It looks so good in
Yeah.
here. And so this is part of the accent lighting. You probably see the stuff that's in here
Yes.
and in here. No direct lighting, nothing shining in your face, but
Yeah.
lots of indirect lighting,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's very warm.
Yeah, the atmosphere must be insane at
It's
night.
so nice.
Yeah, and how would you control all of that? Is that on like your iPhone or an Android system, or?
It's a proprietary system, but it's loaded on a number of different platforms. Like we have these built-in panels here on the one side of the bed. It's duplicated exactly on the iPad on the other side of the bed. The reason that's an iPad is because you can also remove that and use it as a television remote if you don't want to use your glasses to do the little one. That same software will be either on your Apple or Android device, and the screens have been modified a little so that the buttons are more accessible on a small screen.
What can you control from either that dedicated pad or the iPad over here?
Literally everything. You can. One of my favorite features is I can get on my iPhone when I'm at dinner and go, did I remember to lock the coach? And it's locked.
Yeah, right.
But you can run the shades, the HVAC, the audio video. You can run the slides. That's kind of nice. So if you're in a situation where the campsite is super tight, you can go outside with an iPad or your phone and make sure you're not going to bump into that tree as the slide's coming out. That's available from anywhere in the world as long as the coach has internet
connectivity.
It's Starlink, so it always does, and your phone. You could be in South Africa and say, did I remember to lock the coach, and check it?
Right.
Or what's the temperature in there? Are my batteries up? And do something about it.
Yeah.
Like literally start the generator and turn on the air conditioner from anywhere in the world.
Yeah. The second thing that caught my eye when I came in here was actually beyond the bedroom. It's the bathroom, and it's a design choice, but that river stone looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And it just has such a natural, I think the way that they designed this with the tile color, and again, continuing the backlit countertop, the depth of that countertop is just massively wide. And that's amazing. I really think that's great. Single sink, but you have a lot of room back in there.
We try to, while making the decor flow through the whole coach, we also try to delineate this is a room, this is a room.
Yeah,
is a room.
this feels very unique, but it flows extremely well. And again, this is just
exactly
more
what we're
the
looking
choices,
for.
but you know you're in a different room as opposed to, and it has a different feeling, a very sort of a natural woodsy feeling to me. Not woodsy, but a very natural feeling. Stackable washer and dryer. I've actually never seen that brand, Asco. I mean, maybe I haven't really.
It's a Swedish company. We like them because they're compact on the outside but large on the inside and quiet, which is super important. We also do these that way you don't have to look at them when it's not laundry day, but when it is laundry day, they're out of the way. Both sets of drawers slide back out of the way.
That's a nice design. Interesting toilets too. You got lots of buttons on them.
Bidet toilets with heated seats
Right.
and drying and so on. Those have been around forever. They got really popular during the great toilet paper scare of 2020.
Yeah.
So we put them on pretty
I
much
remember
everything.
when Kyle, you and I were in Japan, first time we ever saw one. You were like fascinated. Dad, look at this toilet. It's a power toilet. We got to get one of those. But
I do want to point out the shower here is a steam shower with a stand-up jacuzzi too, which is kind of nice.
that's just fantastic. And you know, I mean, the height of this ceiling, Kyle, there is a step up in here, right?
You're on the engine.
And I'm on the engine, right? Oh, in here.
Yes.
Oh, you're on it. What I still have, and I don't feel
Tons of
constrained.
room. Yeah.
That's been my big issue with a lot of the Class A's is they just don't feel wide enough and tall enough.
Yeah.
That problem doesn't exist here.
I'm 6'2" and I'm standing up under a slide.
I'm 6'5". My hair
Just touches
barely-
on the trim
Time will
piece.
cure that problem. Don't worry. You know. Tell me about over in here. This is just a nice little. What an amazing wallpaper that is. My wife would be happy. Kathy would be happy that I said that. But beautiful design wallpaper.
And we had the rugs, which were at a show, so we pulled them up, obviously. But we had the rugs hand manufactured to mirror the pattern on the wallpaper. You can kind of see it right here on the one that we left down. See how that's the same pattern there.
One thing as we move into I was going to call this a galley, but that's the wrong word.
Man, we use that.
You do?
We do. We
What,
use galley.
what I'm not seeing is a stove or an oven or a dishwasher.
Yeah.
Oh, you might have already left.
We're filming. See you, bud.
See you later.
Sorry.
That door sounds amazing.
Pretty cool. We should talk about that.
That should be my ringtone. You know, like that.
It's like spaceship.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds like that. But where's,
So,
or is
a
the
lot
buyer
of-
just going out to eat every night?
well, that happens too. But the majority of these machines are built for people who own lots in very high-end RV resorts.
Right.
They're chasing great weather, so they're down in southern Florida in the winter time, and in northern Michigan, for instance, in the summertime. And in those resorts, they've built these phenomenal outdoor living areas with outdoor kitchen. Most people would rather cook out there rather than have food odors inside the coach.
Makes sense.
That said, you're not always there, so you do have to have a stove. This is called an InvisiCook, and it's built directly into the countertop.
No way.
You cook directly
Are
on the
you
countertop.
serious?
I am. And this is the control panel for
That okay?
You,
That's insane.
turn it on, you select which burner you want.
You
and
let
what
me fall into
temperature.
that trap.
You
You let me fall. I was let him just go with this. Yeah, there's no cooktop. Guess what? Oh, that's insane.
Special cookware.
You do, yeah. It's an induction range, and it works by
Magnet.
magnetism.
Yeah.
In fact, that's what the beeping was telling me, is that the pan's not centered.
Right.
So if there was a pan on there and I turned that on, it would pull it into place.
Now, if this is warm, what's the warning?
You know, the odd thing is, and I watched the video, I haven't done it in real life, but the lady that's doing the video has a pan of water boiling here, and she goes, so it goes immediately back to room temperature. Takes the boiling pan off and puts her hand on it.
Oh, my
Does
goodness.
I haven't had the guts to try that yet,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's the demo.
Oh wow. Oh
So
boy.
It has a dishwasher.
Oh, it does have a
here,
dishwasher.
which is really nice. And on the mid-entry coaches like this one, we put the trash can back here so that it's easier to reach from the front.
Right.
From the side. On the front entry coaches, the trash can goes right there.
I see.
Pantry is here,
Got it.
and it has slide-out drawers.
Right.
We build a lot of custom stuff like, you know, silverware holders and cookware holders and that sort of thing, napkin holders. We build a lot of that stuff custom. For instance, like in the beverage center over here, this is set up to be a pot of coffee or a Keurig, and so we did K-cup holders
Oh, nice.
to keep the K-cup. But if you like an espresso, then that would be an espresso, and that would be an espresso pod holders.
Wow.
We also did an appliance garage here. It comes with several extra shelves, and you can kind of move them around where you want them.
Is there power in there?
Yes,
Inside you can plug in?
but the idea there is you can leave, you know, your crock pots and your air fryers and that
see.
sort of thing, and not have them scattered out.
Right.
You know, they're in there and out of the way. This is also extra pantry space, but we did put a lighted hanging rod in there, so if you have guests, you take out these top.
You got a
three,
coat closet.
and your guests can hang their clothes in there while you're traveling.
Right. Is there any onboard propane ever on any of these units? No?
But we've been total electric for over 40 years.
Okay, got it, got it. And then the refrigerator itself.
So the refrigerator, and again, this is because of the center entry right here, we wanted the refrigerator to be very close to the entrance so you can step in, grab a drink, and be right back out. So fridge here on the top, ice drawer here in the middle, and then this bottom drawer is selectable. You can turn it up and use it as a crisper, refrigerator, wine chiller, all the way down to be a freezer. It's set on freezer right now.
I have one last question before, because I'm going to need to sit down. You can ask a bunch of questions as well, but this seems a little dangerous here that you might misstep.
Yeah.
Is there a piece that
there's a powered cover.
A power.
that
See,
comes out. Yeah, there's a powered.
Thought
cover
of everything
that
here.
covers
A
that.
powered cover.
Yeah.
That comes out. I see it right here.
Yes.
And then does it come up as well?
No, it seals off the staircase, but it's linear. It moves straight out.
Oh.
And it's made out of honeycombed aluminum, so it's strong enough for all three of us to stand on it.
That's incredible.
Engine bay. Let's run
Oh yeah, let's definitely check out the engine bay for sure.
Beautiful on this one.
Yeah. There's that sound again. I love that sound. Oh boy. Incredible. So the question I have,
Yeah.
how much does this weigh?
59,000 pounds full of fuel and full of water.
59,000 pounds.
Yeah.
Okay. And what powers it?
Well, this has a Cummins engine. Did you already?
Nope, you mentioned it.
This is the 250th anniversary of the United States, and we wanted to celebrate that by ghosting a flag into the rear cap.
Oh yeah.
I hope you can see that with the overcast.
It's
but
really nice.
That was pretty cool.
That is
But
cool.
here's what powers it. This started life as a standard X15 Cummins. It's 15 liters. This one, we color coordinated it with the coach. So the blue stripes on the outside of the coach are a BMW color called Frozen Blue Metallic. So the engine is done in Frozen Blue Metallic with all polished stainless steel hardware, polished steel plumbing, carbon fiber air cleaner there, and it's stage 3 performance.
So it rips.
It does a good job.
That is a work of art. That is absolutely gorgeous.
We call it man jewelry.
That's a great name. So there's not such a secret compartment here because you can see through it, but I'm curious, what's behind here? What's behind door number 2?
So this is the side door engine access. It's got obviously a lot more polished stainless steel. We have a 220 volt pressure washer right here that we plumb through deionized water.
Oh.
So you can rinse spot free and not have to dry the coach.
Of course.
This is 25 feet of pressure washer hose, which isn't enough to reach the whole coach, but that's deliberate. Nobody wants to pull out 60 foot of hose.
Right.
So we do quick connects on the front and the rear of the coach so you can hook up, do half of it, move around to the other side. That's what these valves control here, is which side is being powered. If you're in sub-freezing weather, you saw the air hose reel right there. We also put a Schrader valve in
Blow
the
out your
valve
lines?
body, so you open both valves, hook up the air hose, and blow it out.
Yeah. Look at the installation on the batteries. Are these lithium or these?
No, these are starting batteries.
Oh, starting
the house
batteries.
batteries are lithium batteries, but these are starting batteries right here.
Okay.
And we put them in a real nice installation with clear plexi over and make it look good.
Just beautiful.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Towing capacity, Dad?
Yeah, so let's talk about this is this a car hauler?
It is. It's
So-
a stacker, so it's got 2 cars and a workshop.
2 cars and a workshop,
and
yeah.
heating and air conditioning.
Yeah, I've been in a number of the NASCAR trailers
Yeah.
where they have, the car above and then you can work below it, but this will hold 2 cars as well. So
Yeah.
what's the towing capacity of this unit?
We are alone in the industry on this. We're the only ones with Class 5, 25,000 pound towing capacity, which the stacker trailers have 3 8,000 pound axles. They're 24,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating. You need a 25,000 pound hitch to legally tow this.
So speaking of legally towing this, if I had all the money in the world and called you and said, I'm buying one of these, do I need a special license to drive that with this kind of trailer?
Federally, no. Some of the states have above a certain weight.
Like GVWR or what have you. So here in Florida, I know if it's for personal use. If you're using it for commercial use, then you have to get that CDL, right?
That's federal.
Federal.
So like how this says Newell up there on the top.
Yes.
We can get away with that. If it said Newell.com on the top, then weigh stations, logbooks, all
it's
the
the commercial
stuff that comes
side.
with it.
It's the commercial side.
Because we're a private vehicle, and most of these are off the road by 3 o'clock in the afternoon anyway. They don't. There's no impetus for extra licensing.
Right.
People aren't out drinking and driving in these after dark, that
Right.
kind of thing. But there are some states that have laws saying, if you're above 20,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating with air brakes, you need a Class B with air brake certification. So that does exist, but for the most part, no.
Right, got it. What is just one quick question. The highest mileage Newell that you know of on the road still running today?
We built one, I'm not going to say a name, but it's a famous professional wrestler who was also a movie star. And I think his driver put 750,000 miles on it before they traded it. And that was probably 8 or 10 years ago. So
wow.
God knows how many miles it has now.
Wow.
Most of the time, the people who buy them wear out decades before the coach does.
I'm really curious to see what's inside these, because this is not going to be your normal storage.
We have a little bit more stuff.
Yeah, I was
going
to
to
say.
carry on board water purification and heating and all of that. This is the service bay here.
Wait, isn't that going to hit?
No.
Oh, look at that. All right.
So this is the service bay. This is where you fill, dump, and flush the coach. It has the diesel-fired heating system in there. It has primary and backup water pumps, the manifold system, so if something leaks, you can turn it off and still use all the rest of it.
That's amazing.
But
yeah, gray water, freshwater, and black water tank capacities.
so we only have 2 tanks. We combine gray and black.
Okay.
And it's always the same size as the fresh tank. That way, no matter how, it all fits in the other tank. And so this one has 150 gallons of fresh water and 150 holding. They go up from there. That's the minimum we do. NASCAR clients often need a little more than that because they're on the track. So we'll build bigger tanks for them.
Right.
But speaking of tanks, there is one more thing I want to show you, because our industry has chronically screwed this up. This is where you fuel the coach.
Yeah, baby.
Oh.
205 gallons of diesel, DEF tank is right beside it. You don't have to move the coach, you don't have to turn it around, you just hang up the diesel hose, grab the DEF hose, top it off, you're done.
It's basically an F450, right? It's right next to each other, right there. Oh boy.
And our upholstery shop makes these neat little bibs here,
Oh,
so
that
it won't drip on the polished stainless.
That is awesome. I can't thank you enough
That
so
is my
much. This is
pleasure. Very
amazing.
nice to meet you.
It is just a pleasure, and I really appreciate, both Kyle and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day for this tour. Unbelievable. And what's really amazing is it's not just money that you're throwing at this. There's a passion, and I can tell, and the quality comes out from a lot of the engineers that are designing this and have built it for years. And it's really an American success story. Everything really here in America, right? So we were talking earlier about not having the problem of tariffs and all of that. So interesting playing. Well, everyone, thanks again for watching another episode of Dave and Kathy Unplugged. I, for one, it's my birthday, by the way. This is my birthday present. You spending time with me today. So thank you for that. And we'll catch you on the next one, everyone. Take care now. Bye-bye.